Hello, we're back. Part two of the Shoeless Peasant.
Yeah, so I think Bina is taking a bath. Daka just stepped outside. And what is Bina kind of like? What is Bina just like sitting there? Describe Bina in the bath. Like, is she like girding herself? Is she closing her eyes and trying to rest? Is she like what is her
Well,
demeanor?
I think that there's a real practical element of first it starts with sort of like furious bathing, like grabbing a scrubbing brush and like scrubbing her feet really hard and scrubbing her fingers and trying to get the dirt out from underneath her fingernails, trying to present herself and look as clean as she can. So it's not a luxurious bath. I think it's a work. Uh, there's work involved, and then there's a point where she takes off her bandages and washes her face, which I'm sure is all caked in blood.
Oh man, that must hurt.
Yeah. But I mean, they have to be changed, right? Like she can't leave it on indefinitely. Um, so so she's trying to preserve as much clean water as she can for that. And I think, they said you have an hour. So I think in the, um, in the time when she finally does when she's sort of tended to all the necessary things, then she's girding herself to try and convince the prince not to go to war. And so she's saying, Your Majesty, Prince Bulat, your uh, guardian of the wheel, protector of the flames, student of the archmage. Like she's like talking herself through how she might speak
Right.
to him, and um, Warden Boj. Is that what?
Yeah. And I think she's like she looks up at one point and she's like looking down, trying to like rehearse this.
Yeah.
And she looks back up, and Egg Dulin is standing there, and she's kind of like this.
There's a palpable like intake. Like, yeah, she's very surprised and feels very vulnerable here in this bath. I mean, she's vulnerable to her any time, but she kind of grips the edge of the bath and you can see her knuckles whiten. But she doesn't say anything.
You're going to try to stop the war.
Yes. That's what I told you I wanted to do.
I didn't think you'd get this far. Warden Boj is called the Silver Goat. This is his shot at glory, probably the only shot that will come in his lifetime, other than some minor orc hunts, unless he wants to kill a dragon, which he does not.
So he will oppose me then.
He will oppose you.
Before you give me any more aid, you should know that I let them know I saw you.
Good. Much good it has done.
Why are you helping me?
At the last conflict at Karakage, I was what is called a second. It's like a squire to a sword singer.
That the dwarves call an ardent.
I served a sword singer. I saw what it is that they do. I saw the havoc they wreak. And I put my sword down and I wandered for many years. I don't want this war to come to pass.
Prince Bulat carries many titles and seems to be a man of a thoughtful man. I've only known him a moment, but he doesn't look like a warmonger, someone who has nothing but death and destruction in his sights.
He is a ruler. That means there are pressures put upon him. He's a prince. He needs his captains to respect him.
And they would not respect a show of cowardice or fear. If, for instance, he said he did not want to go to war, and he said he wanted to return the star, and the elves that you and the etharch that you serve,
She is too angry to be quelled.
so is this all for naught? Should I be telling them to double their efforts to protect themselves? Will she just, if they back down, will she just slay them all the same?
She will have a hard time laying siege. There are a lot of things that could happen going up the Jeweled Road. If the dwarves were to go back to their home and shut their gates, the elves would have a hard time breaking down those gates. People would die, but not as many. And she might very well lose what she had along the way in support. And those of us who are trying to stop it might we might be able to talk some sense.
Do you know what happened with the consort? Anything? No. The one dwarf that I've spoken with, who seems like he might have told me, was not here at the time. Other than that they considered a catastrophe. So even by their own standards, this was not desirable.
I don't know what happened. I know her consort went to visit the elves. I know that he had a star with him so that he could find his way home, given to him by the etharch to show her love for him. I know that he is missing, and the star is now listed among the prince's belongings.
He would not have given it as a gift, would he? I heard that there was a gift exchange.
I don't know. I didn't spend much time in the north.
Seems like you might have to.
This is as far north as I want to get. You have some time before dinner. See what you can find out. Good luck. I'm never too far. The dwarves are fond of gifts.
Well, it seems as though I should thank Satarbi and Derbina for their son's aid. Perhaps ask them for a favor in turn. Thank you. You should be careful. All of them know your name. All of them wish to slay you and your son if they can.
Ah,
I did not
good
give them
luck.
his name.
Good luck. And I think she just like slips out of the tent. What does Bina do with her last half hour?
She gets dressed quickly and runs over and talks to her guards and says, um, "I do not know what." She says, "Can you take me to Sitarbi and Durbina? I must thank them for their for their aid."
Yeah. And I think you walk into their tent, and there are these huge, expansive tapestries up on the walls, and uh, they all get up. And Dobrina is this lovely bearded woman. She comes over. She says, Korbika has been telling us all about you. But you have dinner with the prince, so we cannot offer you a meal. But we can offer you a drink if you'd like. Are you thirsty?
I think I should keep my head clear, but water if you have it.
Of course, of course. And Sotarbi is an older dwarf, a little bit of gray coming into his brown. And he's got like ink stains at the end of his fingers.
Um, so Darby, I think at this point they know who she is and she knows who they are, so she doesn't sort of go through the introductions, but she says, "Satarbi, your son offered me great help, and hopefully I aided him as well.
Mm.
The elves seemed uncertain as to whether or not he was a spy. I hope I helped convince them that he did not pose a threat to them."
Yes, my son is definitely not any kind of aid to the dwarf to Wheelholt. On that, the elves and I agree.
Is Krabika here, or is it just
Yeah, yeah. He just looks like his dad had a shot to take a shot at him, and he did.
yeah, right? Well, in this case, his unofficial role saved him. I'm sure you would not want to have heard of your son's death at the hand of the fell nightingale.
No, I did not want her to. I did not want him to die at the hands of the Fell Nightingale. Of course not. I want him to die a good death at some human brothel, surrounded by long legs. Dad.
He has made many friends amongst the. He has made many friends. I'm sure that in trading, if you ever trade with humans, that it's useful to have someone who's befriended them, has a good rapport, knows how to.
Bina Janos, have you come all of this way to tell me what the worth of my son is and how he has spent his time? It seems like you have an ambitious enough lineup ahead of you tonight as it is. Hmm?
Well, if you must know, if I'm going to try and convince a prince, a warden, and a chief engineer of something, I figure I might as well get some practice. So far, things don't look good.
They do not. You are doing poorly. I hope your peace goes better than your whatever this is. And I think at that point, Dobrina comes back. And like she reads the room quickly and says, Sotarbe, you're not putting this Bina Janos in the middle of our family kerfluffle, are you? And he says, she's put herself there. She says, she's our guest. the guest of our prince. You are being disrespectful. Yes, my dear.
I've traveled this road, and it has not been a pleasant journey. I've endured much. I can endure a lot more than a disagreement about the worth of Karbika.
It is tradition that you bring a gift when you come to the dwarves, and you brought us our Karbika back. And that is a wonderful gift. What is it that I can give you in repayment? And Sotarbi says, wait a minute. Wait. That's not how the gift giving. She says, hush. She's under our hearth. This is my territory. Excuse me.
If I can be so bold, I will ask you for a gift in return. And if that is an affront, then perhaps you can share with me wisdom. I do not seek anything for myself, but when I meet with the prince, it seems I should do so respectfully. I have a small bit of coin. It's certainly not worth. It certainly does not measure up to the worth of your wares. But perhaps if you would accept this as a payment upon some of your fine art, I would be in your debt to have you select a piece you think would be worthy of the prince. And she's looking up at all the tapestries that are up in the tent. And she pulls out, because she carries with it. She pulls out her one little tiny sack of coin.
So Tarby says, put away your coin. Put away the coin.
I understand you value things that are physical that you can hold in your hand. I value that as well. And thank you for your generosity.
Bringing my son back is a mighty gift. These are 3 tapestries on the wall. They would be appropriate gifts to a prince. And you should not go empty-handed. This one is called the 17 Debts. It is a Gilder tapestry. It is a tapestry denoting the 17 greatest debts we have collected on in our history since the Gilder's founding.
Is this tapestry added to as these debts are called in?
She is a smart one, Karbika. You make smart friends. And he points to the bottom panel that's empty. And he says, this is the panel that is a space left for the next generation. Very good. And he walks you over to the next panel. And he says, this is denoting the last great battle with the dragon.
Oh, this is the second tapestry.
Not
the second panel, right?
Yeah, no. Like the 17 panels are just 17 times. We could get into it.
Sure.
This is the battle in which the dragon was driven into vault, where it still rests. Worth noting that is also where the prince left, where the elvish consort, whatever it is.
I believe the Etharks call him the consort.
Is where this consort went.
He went to the vault. What kind of fool was he?
He was shamed into it.
By his own brethren or by dwarves?
Both.
To prove that he could face a dragon? Or that he wasn't afraid to? Or that he was stupid enough to?
There was drinking and boasting and gift giving. It was a mess.
And he didn't return.
He and the prince's brother did not return. And their retinues. It is said that for a day and a night, the vault glowed red, and fire came from its top. But that is not what is depicted here. This is the initial taking of vault by the dragon.
Prince's brother. What was his name? What is his name?
Chovka.
Ovka. And did the prince have love for his brother?
No love was lost between them.
But the prince still owes his brother the debt of family. No? Family still cannot abandon one another, even if they have disagreements. If he is a good prince, he would still seek his brother to return, to come back home. This is totally Bina trying to twofer guilting Satarbi into taking his son that he doesn't like back, but also by being like, as a good prince, this is what he should have to.
Right. Do you want to make a persuasion roll?
Yeah, I totally do. I'm super gonna fail it, but
yeah, I mean the ob is 5 doubled if
great.
You don't have persuasion.
I don't have persuasion. It's an ob 10 will test. My will is 3. But it's important. I'm gonna fail it, but it's
if you fail, he kicks you and Korbika out with the tapestry. But yeah,
that's fair. Let's see. Will and with beginner's luck, I can't fork. I think all I could really do is can I call on a helping die from Durbina?
I don't think he can give you a helping die.
Dubrina, sorry, she can't give me helping die. She doesn't have persuasion. Well, if she wants to, she could, because she doesn't need to have persuasion since I'm stats.
Oh, right.
Like,
yeah, she'll give you a helping die. Sure.
I mean, it's not gonna do much, but
yeah, I'll give it to you. I'm down with it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm just making sure I don't have persuasion trained. I don't think I do. Oh, I've got several attempts at it though. Just 4 more and I'll have it unlocked. Okay. Input modifiers. 1 helping die. I'm not spending Artha. It's based off ob 10. No, I failed. Although I got a 6. I'm gonna spend a 6. I'm gonna spend it.
All right.
I got 10%. I got 13 fate.
Yeah, definitely. Go for it.
Hey, I got 2 successes
All right.
out of that. Mark. I actually don't. I think that's high enough ob. In fact, I'm sure it's high enough ob because it's ob 5 to begin with. That it doesn't count as a practice test. It counts as a challenging will test. So, because it would have been challenging even before it was doubled.
He starts screaming. Dwarves are screamers. He starts screaming, and his wife Debrina starts screaming back at him, and Krabika says, just comes up to you quietly and says, "I'm sure they've assigned you an ardent. We'll send them back for the tapestry you want."
I don't think you ever got to the third one.
Ah, well, you should recognize it. And like you turn to it, and it's the fall of Karkagi Tower.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Yeah, and
stop yelling.
She ducks out. And says a very quick thank you to them for their hospitality.
Yeah.
She bows and ducks out. They're screaming. I'm sorry if I've made things worse between you and your father.
I don't know if that's possible.
Well,
and Daka comes in and says, "It is time."
Yes, please lead the way.
One moment. Ms. Janos, which tapestry did you want Daka to go get before you went in?
Bring the one to the vault.
It's in my father's room. In my father's tent. You'll see it. Ask them to roll it up. Oh, yes, of course. A gift. Very good, Ms. Janos. Good job.
Thank you, Daka.
And yeah, they like Daka has a couple. He drags a couple of other younger ardents over to carry it.
Right.
And you walk in, and he says, "Miss Bina Janos of Karkage."
And she sort of does the normal bow that you would do in the present that she knows is like a sign of respect in the presence of a lord.
Yeah. And the engineer says, "Daka, what do you have there?" "She has a gift." "What?" And they all look like very pleasantly surprised.
I say it's my understanding that it's customary.
You've
If I might have a moment to present it, I have learned some of the history, which I'm sure
sure
you know as well. But
of course, please show us this gift.
Prince Bulat, Lord of Wheelhalt, Guardian of the Wheel, Protector of the Fire. She specifically leaves off Student of the Archmage in his thing, and then is like, and then corrects herself. And it's like, student of the Archmage, like as though like it's her human frailty, right? She wants to seem fallible. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Set herself up. She doesn't want to set the expectations too perfectly, too highly. I've heard the story of the dragon and of the great dwarven host that drove it back. And I've heard the story of the of the vault and that of your greatness. And I wish to give you a reminder of this, reminder that you can hang up in your tents. And then she asks Daka to unfurl it, or to,
Yeah, and I think the engineer comes and unfurls it, and they like a bunch of Ardents come and like put it up, and like I mean I picture them like eating around it, like the whole way of eating like turns so it's like a semicircle looking at it, right? It's like it's like watching TV while you eat. And the engineer kind of comes up next to you because it's kind of a serve yourself type of deal. Like there's a bunch of meat in the middle of the table, some mushroom stew, and it's serve yourself. And when you're like both getting your goat onto your plate, he says, "You're a subtle one. I'll be watching you. I see you there tunneling under our walls. I see you."
Like, well,
I don't think I don't.
I don't think we've met yet. I'm Bina. You're the chief engineer, but I have not learned yet your name.
Yes. I am, let me find a good name for him. I am Nal.
Well, Nal, I'm sure that the walls you build are far too sturdy for any human to ever dig through.
There's no such thing as a wall too sturdy.
I saw the first tower, and the speed with which your swords, your soldiers assembled it. I'm assuming that's the least of your impressive. That's the least of your feats.
That's just some wood. That's nothing.
Well, maybe someday you can show me some truly great works.
Maybe someday, Miss Janos. Maybe.
And I think before we get into the Nerve Primal, we should wrap. I think that's.
Oh shit! We're gonna do that. We'll start off with the Duel of Wits next time.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like it. We're right at time now.
Yeah.
I hate to.
That's good because that'll like make sure that we schedule it. Because sometimes this game will go by and we'll be like, this time we'll be like, oh shit, let's schedule it.
Let's get this on the schedule.
Let's get this now because shit.
Yeah. Matt said OB10 is walking to Mordor shite. I mean, it was OB5, but Bina has like no skills trained, so it's
yeah.
So his will's 5, so persuading him is on 5, double to 10.
Yep.
Burning Wheel is punishing when you suck at things, when you don't know things. So
yeah, it's hard. And I'm yeah.
Yeah, so far the stakes in most of my challenges have been really, really low. So I appreciate that you've been kind. The consequences have not been, all I wanted him to do was think it was his responsibility to still care about his son. I'm not trying to convince him to say, I don't know, give back a magic star and end a war.
Right.
That'll be the next one.
Right.
Okay. All right. So let's do the sign off thing.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the stakes haven't always been small, right? Because I took out your eye, right? So there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's very difficult. Like the guy you were trying to talk to was like a dwarven trader. That's not somebody they make their living by that shit, you know?
Right, totally. He's not going to be like having the wool pulled over his eyes just by me making some subtle reference to obligation of family. No,
Right, right. No, you just pissed him off. Like, yeah, totally.
it's good. It's good. Like I said, it
Cool.
was practice in every sense of the word. Okay, let's do this thing. I am Sean Nittner. I use he, him pronouns, and you can find me anywhere on the internet at Sean Nittner. Actual play is our Twitch stream, and we run all kinds of cool games here, like this one. And coming up next week, next Monday, we'll be doing For the Queen. Sorry, not next Monday. Tomorrow, we'll be running For the Queen and doing that on Monday, Wednesday, and then the following Monday and Wednesday as well. Well, 4 separate one-shot games. Should be good times. And a few more things will be coming on the channel soon as well. So come on back to actual play anytime. How about you, Judd? Where do
Um,
folks find you?
yeah, my name is Judd. He, him pronouns, and I've got a blog at Githyanki Diaspora, and I'm Judd of Cryos. You can see my little underscore Judd underscore of underscore Cryos for Twitter, and I just started a podcast. It's just like a 15-minute a week thing where I talk about gaming and then things that are inspiring my gaming. So I might talk about a bit about gaming, something I'm writing or something that I'm playing, and then a little bit about something I'm reading or something I'm listening to that has inspired my gaming.
Nice.
And it's quick, and the format of it is kind of coalescing as I go, and it's very lightly edited, but it's just tight 10-15 minutes a day, a week. I try to put it out Sunday night so that if you want something while you commute on Monday morning, you've got something.
Nice.
And I put a link in it's called Daydreaming About Dragons, and there is a link in the chat,
the Twitch chat.
if I can remember the word for it. And that's about it. That's what's happening right now.
That's super cool, man. I'm very excited that you're podcasting again.
Thank you.
Let's let this evolve, find its place, and then
Yeah.
a year from now, you can have me on as an interview for your hour-and-a-half long show.
Awesome. Yeah, the 100th anniversary show.
Yeah.
And I've also thought it would be worth talking about something that Sean and I discussed in private, but is worth talking about out here in public, is that if Bina were to die, it doesn't mean the game has to end. Like we talked about this of like, if Bina dies, we might be able to pick it up with another character. Like maybe I start playing Voss and Sean GMs for a while. Or maybe Sean says, hey, I really want to play Fel Nightingale now, like behind enemy lines. Or I say, hey, I want to play the Dwarven Prince, or whatever it is. Like whatever situation Bina makes more complicated by her death, if that should happen, we could pick it up in another way. Or Sean could say, I'd like to play Bina's daughter 10 years from now. We could do that. I mean, it could be there are a bunch of different ways to go about it.
Yeah.
So I want to put that out there that if with these one GM, one person games, where one player games, it can be a little like, oh, what do we do if someone dies? Well, like once you get going, you can the world becomes its own character, and you can find your little footholds and go a different route.
Yeah, and the same is true is that there's no plot protection for Bina, because she's the only character. There isn't any sense that that she can't take a misstep and leave the story for one reason or the other.
Right.
And so, so that's also important. The Burning Wheel very much rides on the fidelity of the game, and that you can't soften a blow because Burning Wheel stops working if you do. So so it not only is it important that that the game be able to play on if she does die, but also that if that's what's at stake, then that's what's at stake, and that's and we'll play through that and see what happens. So I'm very excited about her. I have all these ideas already from this game, Judd. I'm super freaking going into the vault and rescuing those two dumbasses, and we'll see how that goes. That's my hope. Yeah, who knows?
Nice,
We'll
nice, nice.
so
Cool. I'm glad that that's out there. I'm never sure where Bina's going to head next. So that's
well,
awesome.
generally, if you say that there's yet a more dangerous place to go that she could possibly find the answer to this problem, then she says, "Sign me up." So,
Right, right.
+1 steal for having reared a child. Alrighty.
One of my favorite feminist rule mechanics, really,
Yeah.
of all time.
All right. We're gonna sign off. Thank you, Nat. That's good to hear. I'm glad that you're like loving the dwarf stuff too. This is really good for me. I mean, I
Yeah.
haven't been making it. It's been Judd, but I've been having a real good time ripping off of it. So, all right, all. We're gonna head out. We will see you all next time we play. Come back tomorrow for some for the queen. It'll be great. Good night.